open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go.
Hey guys!
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to
Alright, I want to still have this on, but I don't want it that loud. Okay, so, we got a lot to cover today. I thought it would be fun to have a kind of, I guess, like thought tank kind of a thing. We have done these before. I did use like a lot of gameplay in it, but I think today I want to talk a lot. I mean, we'll get into some gameplay later, but I want to talk about some of the things that I found on this topic. Now, you guys are probably like, what is with these pictures? as you can see, the god Saturn was depicted as an older male with a long white beard. And actually, if you guys did not know this, Christmas actually comes from a holiday called Saturnalia, which actually celebrates the god Saturn. So a lot of people believe that Saturn and Santa are the same person, and that basically, you know, the inspiration from Santa Claus came from Saturn. But yeah, we're gonna get into all of that. First I want you guys to notice this thumbnail and the picture of Saturn in his chariot. Now, take a look at what is driving this chariot. It is a Nordic Serpent, and I brought this up in my last theory video, and I think that they're going to bring these to Fortnite. Now, I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be the Frostwind Dragon. That's totally a possibility as well. I mean, regular, like, just traditional dragons are definitely a lot cooler, I would say, than just, like, a regular, like, snake-like Nordic dragon. But I do think that it would be interesting if, the Nordic dragon happened to be Loch Ness Monster, and I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's because of the new water map everybody is predicting we will get, and basically, yeah, so we're gonna go to my tabs here. I actually am going to be, hang on a second. Okay, so basically, I pulled up a bunch of tabs here, and I'm going to read some of these Saturn type things to you. Now, if you guys didn't watch my last video, I do think that you guys should go and check that out first, because I have a lot of information there, and if you haven't seen that yet, you might not fully get it. I have already covered a whole lot on this topic, but you guys did vote that you wanted for me to have more theories, so I am trying to do that. And yeah, so let's get into it here. So the mythology of Saturn was that he is a god in the ancient Roman religion, and actually he was a symbol of time. He was actually considered a god of time. Let me see where that article was, because I actually have all of these articles still up that I was reading. It's one of these. I literally have like 70 tabs open right now. I just gotta like identify where it is. I think it was this one. Yeah, okay. So, Saturn is often depicted as an older man with a long white beard and curly hair. In some depictions, Saturn has wings. He is portrayed as strong, muscular, and vaned. Now, I think that we can all agree that this character in particular looks a lot buffer than a lot of our other skins. Like, he is ripped. This Santa guy is like, he's got gigantic muscles. He is like a brick house of a man. Okay, so I really feel like maybe that as well is like part of this whole like Saturn characteristic. And yeah, so he was also known as Kronos to some in like the Greek mythology. But yeah, there's a lot of information here. I'm just trying to go through it. And also I want to know if you guys pick up on anything while I'm looking this stuff up, just because, you know, I think it's like better like with more minds going at it than just me. But yeah, so let's talk about Saturnalia a little bit here. So Saturnalia was called the Festival of Light in Rome, and basically it celebrates like the coming of a new year, and it was part of like the winter solstice. Solstice. Wow, that's hard to say. But yeah, so also they signified through abundant present of candles, and it says fairy lights in quotations, and then pine trees, which obviously has been taken on by the Christian belief of it being now Jesus's birthday or whatever. So in Rome, it was called Saturnalia before that. Now, there's actually an evolution of religions, but we will not go into that in this video. This is like, you know, we're just going to be talking about Saturn and the possibility that Sergeant Winter is actually this particular god from this mythology. Now, people believe that, you know, that Saturn is like a real god. They have this cult called the Cult of El, and people are obsessed with the idea that, you know, we predicted Saturn and that he is real because of these things. Now, there's a lot of info, and honestly, I don't even know if I could cover all of this information, but I will put this photo up here. Let's see. So, all over the world, they have these. They're like these Saturn, the black cube of Saturn. Now, I know that in our game, it's a purple cube, but I do think that it may still go with the cube of Saturn, because it's not always depicted as being a black cube. It's just this large, giant cube idea that really, it makes the cube of Saturn. But there are depictions of this all over the world, as you can see here. And there's a lot of ways that you can look at a cube, and I want to bring that up because, and let me see if I can get a picture of this. I mean, you can see it in the background. You guys have all seen how there's like a house shape in the background here. Well, actually, that I believe may also have a possibility of being a cube. And I actually have a picture for that as well, to just show you guys the position that could be in. I know it looks like a house, but it could also just be shaped like this. Let me get this to be a little bit smaller here. Ugh, why is it so big? Okay. But I'm thinking that if it is a cube, it's back there and it's shaped like this. And if you guys have seen the other picture, which actually, let me see if I can just find it. What would it be called? Lobby Fortnite Season 7. I was looking for a picture of it, like, without a person in front of it, because I know that I've seen a few of those. Maybe on Twitter. So I know I saw one on Twitter that I may have reposted. Let's see here. Sorry, I should have had this, like, ready ahead of time, but I cannot find it! I don't know. But you guys, if you look it up, I'm sure you can find it. There's a picture of the actual background. But, yeah, it's there. It's there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because of the cube. You can't really see it on my screen, but like right here, there's like, oh, you can't see my mouse either. What the heck? Okay. So behind my character, there's this weird triangle. You see it? Okay. And then I realized that there's a line next to it, next to this telephone, what do you call it? Like telephone line pole structure thing. There's actually a line next to it and a line on the other side. So it's like shaped kind of essentially like a house. And basically, I just was thinking that it's not a house. And at first I thought it was a pyramid, but I didn't notice the sides of it. I think that it's actually a cube though. I think that there may be another cube. And especially if it's like supposed to be representing the god Saturn and all of this mythology is true, then it would make sense that another cube could just appear. Especially since Saturn is known as a god of time and representing a new year, which he did because of Saturnalia and all of that information. It's there's so much to cover, you guys. Like, I've done so much research in like the last week, a week and a half, that like I honestly have like just a cluster in my head of just like all of the things. Now there are people. I was going to talk about the cult of El, and yes, let's get into that. Cult of El. So El was a deity, Northwest Semitic word meaning god or deity, referring as a proper name to any of the major ancient Near Eastern deities. Okay. Saturn. Why are we worshipping the cult of El? Let's see. The Saturn cult is ingrained into nearly every aspect of our life, yet the true significance of Saturn can be found within the secret societies in the deepest underpinnings of religion. So this is kind of like an article I found at in5d.com. This is basically an article about the connections between the god Saturn, Santa, and seemingly Satan. Because as you guys may or may not know, a hexagon is another representation of Saturn's cube, and of course, as you may know, it has 6 points, and that's where the whole like 666 things comes from. Also the David star with the 6 points on it, and many other symbolisms that you may be familiar with. I actually have another photograph of that, so let's pull that up real quick. Here it is. So, another interesting thing as well is, a lot of people got that new glider, the one with the, it's like a paper plane for Maven, and I noticed that on the bottom of that paper plane, it says, I convert, which is actually kind of a funny joke, because if you know anything about the mythology, and, like, just, I don't know, just things about math, like, obviously you would, like, convert something to a whatever, but then, like, in religion, you'd be like, oh, I convert to this religion. But I don't know, it's kind of has, like, a double meaning with their, like, backstory, which is kind of funny. I don't know. But if you haven't noticed that, it's there. Also, I noticed that there's a name. It says, my name Jeff, on the bottom as well, with, like, a little character or whatever, with freckles. I don't know what that's about, but in case you were wondering, it's there. But yeah, so there's a lot of, like, symbolism that represents Saturn that you may not have even known before. But if you guys look at the David star there with the 6-pointed star, you'll notice that the center of David's star is also a hexagon. So the David star is like a really big symbol there because of the 6 points, and then as well as the 6 points in the hexagon. So it's like a 6 within a 6, so it's like kind of like a 6-6, but like not a 6-6-6. I don't know. But yeah, interesting information in case you guys were wondering. And also, if you guys didn't notice, there is this Baphomet thing here, and these symbols look a lot like the ones on the chairs and on the table in the new castle. Now, they're not exactly the same, but they definitely have the same style and, like, the same kind of form and shape as those symbols do. So I am interested in looking into more of that, but I have not yet. And, okay, so anyway. I was thinking, what else did I want to cover? Oh yeah, I wanted to cover the Nordic Serpents as well. Let me get into that. So, Nordic Serpents and, Saturn. Yes. So, snakes in mythology. Okay, so it's mostly showing stuff up as snakes for a serpent. It's a little underwhelming, but yeah, this kind of goes with like my Loch Ness Monster theory as well. Worship of the Serpent, no. Trying to figure out like what kind of stuff I'm really looking for too, because sometimes you have like hints as to what might be a part of the storyline, but like it doesn't really complete a circle if you look up you go down like the wrong rabbit hole. Serpent and All About Heaven. Oh, okay. So, I guess there's people that believe that the god Saturn was actually the serpent in the Garden of Eden who convinced Eve to eat the apple, which is very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. So, just another little thing to check off there. Some information that is interesting that maybe could tie in later. I have been, like, kind of throwing my theory around at everyone because I'm like, dude, they're, like, please notice this. Like, am I the only one looking up this mythology and stuff? But there's so many different connections, and it's just, it's nuts. And also, I just realized the symbol for aim is in a square as well. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like a box on its axis with like a world in the middle. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Oh yeah, and I also have these other pictures I meant to show you. Okay, so I also have, well, first let's look at this picture, because like Saturn is continuously pictured with two serpents, which I believe are the two serpents that were banished by Columba, which was the Hellbreather and the Loch Ness Monster. So yeah, just super interesting. I'm learning a lot of stuff, guys. Honestly, like, who knew that, like, Fortnite was this educational? Oh, I found this picture. I thought it was funny. But it's so true, though. So, children were offered as gifts to the god Saturn during the solstice. It was a child sacrifice, if you will. And now, it's kind of weird because, like, it inspired Christmas and Santa and all of this other stuff, and now kids sit on Santa's lap. It's just kind of a weird symbolism, and no matter what way you look at it, once you know this information, it's weird. And I just, like, I'm rubbed the wrong way by it. It's kind of strange that, like, you know, we used to have this ceremony where kids would get sacrificed in the lap of the god Saturn, and then, like, we change it up a little bit, and then we're like, oh, but no, we can keep the kids sitting on his lap part. We just won't kill them. You know? It's super, super weird. But yeah, okay, so anyway. What other stuff did I save? Oh yeah, okay, so in case you guys didn't know, both poles of Saturn have these, like, interesting storms. The first one on the bottom of Saturn is called the All-Seeing Eye. And as you can see, the storm is a little bit shaped like an eye. And, you may have heard of the All-Seeing Eye before. Illuminati confirmed. But yeah, I think that there may be something here where Fortnite is trying to make us think that they're the Illuminati. I'm not even kidding, but, like, and if you guys haven't noticed, there's actually, like, the All-Seeing Eye in a pyramid on, Save the World. Like, for any of your, what do you call them? Your, like, transmitters or, I don't even know what they're called. Amplifiers? Those things that you have at your fort. They have, like, this symbol on them. It's like a triangle with an eye, and it looks like the All-Seeing Eye. Like, on the back of your dollar bill or something. But yeah. So that's where that actually came from, was the All-Seeing Eye of Saturn. And it's interesting because, obviously, back when Saturn, the god of Saturn, was worshipped, they actually didn't know about any of this stuff on Saturn. They didn't know, I mean, obviously they didn't have the technology to go and take pictures of this planet back then. So it's really, really, really interesting that they already associated the god Saturn with cubes and with hexagons and with the all-seeing eye. And then on the other side of Saturn, at its other pole, we have this storm. And the most interesting part of this storm on Saturn is that it's shaped like a hexagon. Isn't that nuts? And this is real world stuff, guys. Like, people worshipped this religion back before we even had the technology to know that this was on Saturn. And yet, they believed in these two things that somehow ended up connecting in the real world scientifically with this planet, which is so crazy to me. Like, what are the chances? Like, that's so cool. It's just a really interesting thing to know about the planet Saturn and kind of like the god Saturn and all of this stuff. But as you guys noticed, does the storm look very familiar to you? Looks pretty familiar to me. It also looks like the storm in our NASA theory with the AIM machine that tracked those certain noctilucent clouds, was it? But yeah, super interesting. Like that there's like two different storms somewhere out in that universe that just like, it's, I don't know. And they're both related to Fortnite in some kind of like weird, like stretched out way, you know? But I just thought it was interesting. And so we have the Saturn hexagon storm here. We have the all-seeing eye. So there's some of that information. Also, what else were we gonna cover? I like this music. I'm feeling it. Oh yeah, I found some like symbols too. They look kind of like the symbols that were on like the runes and things like that. Now, I don't know what language this is. It just said like it was a like a dragon rune or something like that, which I thought was really interesting that it's called a dragon rune and it looks like the runes from our game. And now we have like dragon eggs, which is crazy. But yeah, so in case this rings a bell to anybody, I thought that I would throw this out there. That's like another thing like I'm having some hard time dealing with. Like I'm trying to find like all the runes so that I can like decode what they're trying to say to us or like what clues they're trying to convey, but I'm really having a difficult time finding that. I think I actually found another one as well. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I found a few. This one does have answers in it. So this is actually, it doesn't actually say what they are, but it is on the list. Hang on. Gosh, these things load in so big. Okay. So, this is the Urmanin rune casting positions. And actually, Sig there, sideways in the negative position, that is on the flag from the, here, hang on. I will actually just post that up with it. Where's the flag? Just going through my pictures here. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you guys see that, but the Z at the top of the, like in between the llamas, is there in the negative position as Sig. And also H, which actually isn't on here, but I know that it means like destruction or like warning of or something like that. Because I did find that one. I don't know why I didn't save the picture language or whatever. But this does kind of tell you that these runes are real. Some of these runes are real, and I think that we can find the translation to some of them, and we could learn a lot of information from it. But I seem to be the only person looking this up. So if anybody comes across this video and you decide, hey, like maybe I would like to think up some theories as well, here is all the information you need in this stream, and hopefully we can figure it out together. That is my hope anyway. So yeah, we got those runes. What other runes do we got? Let's see. I have a few more. So then there's this. And I don't know what this is, but I just thought it was interesting. Let me be careful. Oh. Boop. Boop. Okay. So here's another picture language. I thought like maybe looks similar to some of the runes that we've seen. But it's a lot like wispier and curvier, so I'm not really sure. But these ones on the bottom, the numbers, they actually reminded me of some of the symbols on the chairs as well, because some of them have that weird line above them. And then the last one I have is this one. And so these runes also are dragon runes. And they look a lot similar to like some of the runes that we've seen too. So I don't know, guys. I think it could be possible that the runes that they're using in game are either made up, or they have taken different combinations of different runes and put them together so that they're unrecognizable. I'm not really sure, but some of them are able to like be translated, and then some of them just aren't, and like I'm having a really difficult time finding any translation for them. So if you guys think that that is maybe your forte, that would be really cool if you could help me out with that one. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so I looked up this Merry Saturnalia. There was one that said something about like time travel. I wanted to read that one. Let me look it up again. Saturn, god of time. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So this is actually just on Wikipedia, and let's see, where was the time thing? Oh yeah, okay. So it says, as the god developed over time, he became a god of time. His reign was depicted as the golden age of plenty and peace. The Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum housed a The Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum housed the state treasury. In December, he was celebrated at what is perhaps the most famous of the Roman festival, the Saturnalia, a time of feasting, role reversals, free speech, gift-giving, and revelry. Saturn the planet and Saturday are both named after this god. So, yeah, isn't that interesting? Some interesting stuff. Like, for one, I wasn't fully aware that Christmas came from Saturnalia. I just always, like, assumed it was just a pagan thing, and I didn't really look into it much further, but it turns out this goes all the way back to ancient Roman mythology, and, yeah, so the more you know, guys. The more you know. But, yeah, I think that it's possible that this skin that we have, and actually, why am I not wearing his skin? I should probably be wearing the skin for the stream, because it just makes sense. But yeah, so it only makes sense if we have him with a dragon, right? Because, like, he could potentially be the Hellbringer of Fortnite, and he needs to look appropriate. He needs to look the part. Okay. But anyway, so I think that it's possible that this is them trying to be like, hey, like, we get that you guys love Christmas and whatever, we'll give you a somewhat Santa skin, but just so you know, we have this other thing going on, and this is gonna be our clue to you. So yeah, find it very interesting. Also, I don't know what's up with the goggles. They look like, I guess like a tinkerer's goggles. Like if you're doing something really, really tiny and you can't see what you're doing, like maybe making a train set or something like that. Who really knows? But yeah, it's his like motto is you don't want to be on his list or whatever, which makes sense because if he's the god Saturn, you don't want to be on his bad side. This is a god who ate his newborn son alive, you know? And actually don't look that up because you will find many, many depictions of him eating his child. So if you would like to avoid that, just don't look at him up. Don't look him up at all. Like, just don't go into images. Don't look up Saturn, because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos of him eating children. So just in case you were thinking of looking that up, maybe consider the fact that you may see lots of that. I think I would want to know if anybody else had looked this up before me. That heads up would have been really great because I searched it and then I was just like, oh, look at Santa eating all these babies. It's just great. Let's see. Saturn had two mistresses who represented different aspects of the god. His wife Ops, the Roman equivalent of the Greek Rhea, which means wealth, abundance, and resources. The association with Ops is considered a later development, however, as this goddess was originally paired with Consus. Earlier was Saturn's association with Lua, the god of destruction, dissolution, and loosening, a goddess who received the bloodied weapons of enemies destroyed in war. Under Saturn's rules, humans enjoyed the spontaneous bounty of the earth without labor in the Golden Age, described by Hesiod and Ovid. I don't know who they are, but you know, whoever they are, that's what. That's what happened. According to Varro, Saturn's name was derived from Satu, meaning sowing. Even though his etymology, did I say that right? Looks implausible on linguistic grounds for the long quantity of time. Saturn also became the epigraphically attested from, oh wow, okay, this is a lot of words. So let's maybe like keep to the key points here. Temple of Saturn, blah de blah de blah. I'm trying to find things that are maybe relevant. Okay, here we go. The festival. The position of Saturn's festival in the Roman calendar led to this association with concepts of time, especially the temporal transition of the new year. In Greek tradition, Cronus was sometimes conflated with Kronos, time, and his devouring of his children, taken in allegedly allegory. Sorry, my cursor was over it, so it looked like a different word. And devouring of his children have taken an allegory for the passing of generations. The sickle and scythe of Father Time is a remnant of the agricultural implement of Cronus Saturn, and his aged appearance represents the waning of the old year and the birth of the new year. In antiquity, sometimes embodied Aeon. In late antiquity, Saturn is syncretized with a number of deities and begins to be depicted as winged, and as is Keros, timing right time. I don't know what that means, but okay. So yeah, there's definitely heavy implications that this festival of Saturnalia is what inspired Santa Claus, Christmas, basically all beliefs in any holiday for this whatsoever. And it was originally celebrated on December 23rd, not the 25th. So, yeah, we're learning things, guys. Learning lots of things. I didn't even know any of this stuff, but now I do. I feel like I could do some mythology tests and pass. That's how I feel right now. I've literally only been talking about mythology for like a week, and everyone around me is getting really sick of it. But yeah, so let's see. It says that difficulty scholars find in studying Saturn is asserting what is original of his figure and what is due to later Hellenistic influences. So, says moreover, some features of God may be common to Cronus, but are nonetheless very ancient and can be considered proper to the Roman god. So, Cronus and Saturn are typically the same god, but in different religions that stemmed from each other. Does that make sense? So yeah, if you hear me say Cronus, just know that I'm talking about Saturn. And yeah. But yeah, I think that it's possible that Santa here is actually a symbol that, you know, he came in, he was mean. Do you remember when we first saw the trailer for this season? Right when it was released, I did a live stream and we watched the video of Santa being a mean, angry man who wanted to attack the island of Fortnite, and I was like, what is wrong with him? Why is he so angry? Why does he want to hurt everyone? This is why. It's because he is the Saturn version of Santa, and the Saturn version of Santa would have wanted to cause as much chaos and destruction as possible. He was a very mean god. People associate this god with Satan. They believe that he is Satan. So I'm just saying, these connections are crazy to me. And the more that I learn, the more connections that I make. So like, I've already got a lot of information out now. I know the beginning of the stream was a little bumbly, and it takes me a minute to kind of start making connections and help you understand, because it takes me a minute to kind of understand it. But I don't know, I just thought it was fun to, I don't know, brainstorm some ideas. So like, if you guys have any, you should send them to me. And that would be real cool, you know? Be real cool. So actually they had like worshipping of the Satan, or of the Satan. Obviously there's worshipping of the Satan, but that's not what I wanted to say. Worship of the serpent, and in Grecian mythology, the symbolical serpent was sacred to Saturn and Jupiter. And as I was saying earlier, in my other video, was that, Jupiter was the god that threw the Ursa Minor and Major into the sky, and he threw them with so much force that it pulled their tails and caused them to have long tails, because they were bears or whatever. Because the constellations of the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper are actually considered Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, and they were depicted as bears, a mother bear and a baby bear kind of a thing. So there it goes, connecting itself again to other stuff in Fortnite, such as the teddy bears. And given that Jupiter and Saturn have this history, they kind of go together, and they both connect in this way. It's crazy that it connects that way and so well. So the worship of the serpent was therefore universal. Now this is on a website called sacredtexts.com, and yeah, it looks like they're talking about women being persecuted by a malignant dragon and blended with their fables of such records of the fall of man. Wow. Okay. I don't know about this page because it kind of looks budget. I'm not gonna take that as anything legit. I tend to like to stick with studies, things like that. Religious websites are actually helpful in this kind of search because there are people who still believe in all this stuff. And I think that those people kind of know it the best just because, like, they're worshiping it and stuff, and, like, it's part of a really big part of their lives, so they actually give a lot of information on, like, their blogs and stuff like that. So those were a few of my links as well in my last video. Let's see. Symbolism and iconography of the serpent. The same idea is incorporated into the Nordic myth about the serpent. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, Ophelia Lauder. I forget how to pronounce her name. But I believe I read about this before. I don't know, there's like this really gigantic book I just found, but I just don't know if I mean, if I went through this with you guys, it would be like an eternity. It's literally a novel. Okay. Just looking for things that are relevant here. Related characters to Saturn. Saturn was equated by the Romans to the Greek god Kronos. Genealogy of the Greek gods. Kronos character was adapted to Saturn. However, Saturn differed from Kronos because the latter, according to the legend, was held in a prison at Tartarus. What is Tartarus? I should look up what Tartarus is. Tartarus. Oh! Tartarus is the deep abyss that is used as a dungeon of tormenting and suffering for the wicked, as well as a prison for the Titans. Titans! Oh, wow. Could you imagine if they, like, just suddenly, like, put giants into Fortnite? That'd be just crazy. That's crazy. What other stuff did I pull up here? Lord of the Golden Age. To the oldest Roman religious calendars, which were thought to have been established by the legendary founder of Rome, Romulus, which I told you guys all about Romulus and Remus and all that, and his successor, Numa Pompilius. Numa Pompilius. Wow, that name is a mouthful. Marked a Saturnalia as a legal holiday in December. The 19th of December marked the dedication anniversary of the Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum, which is in 497 BC. Julius Caesar had the calendar reformed because it had fallen out of synchronization with the solar year. 2 days were added to the month, and Saturnalia then fell on the 17th of December through the 24th of December, Candlemas Eve. Not Christmas! Candlemas. Candlemas Eve. Yep, that's the thing. Candlemas Eve. Interesting. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting. A main statue over the BBC building at Broadcasting House showed the old man and the child. The old bloke, Prospero, the main character of Shakespeare's Tempest, who lives in an island and is a great sorcerer, and Ariel the child. The same magician features on an island in the Box of Delights. The artist that made this piece was Eric Gill, a pedophile. Oh, how nice. Okay. In ancient beliefs, Saturn was used as a marker for when the sun could change, simply to mark lighter nights, darker days, and is all based overarching mechanism of marking time. Wow, lots of marking. There's lots of marking. Wow. Okay. Who was the Lord of Time? The old bearded bloke above. I will come back to time in a bit. Oh, God. Wait. Wait. No. What? No. Are they trying to say that Saturn is a pedophile? Because that's creepy. Saturn, the planet, and Saturday are both named after the god. The life, child, and death of the old man are all symbolic of Saturnalia and the other darker meanings associated with Saturnistic rituals. The BBC drama The Box of Delights is worth a watch. If not, get a flavor of the season and white and dark magic. Okay. I don't know if I want to watch this Box of Delights anymore. I'm creeped out. I'm creeped out. Oh my god, what? Oh my god, there's literally a picture of a burnt gingerbread man. Oh my god, are you serious? Oh my, I have to show you this right now. I have to show this to you. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at that. Are you serious? Ah! What? I need a moment to process because... Okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute. So Hermes, or Mercury, the god of travelers and shepherds, or Pan, in Greek mythology, is associated with the Gingerbread Man. Please explain this to me, because I am so confused. Catch me if you can. Saturnalia is recorded by the Greek writer, poet, and historian Lucian. In his dialogue entitled Saturnalia, observes the festivals in his time. Lucian mentions human sacrifice, widespread intoxication, going from house to house while singing naked, violation, and other explicit activities. He also mentions consuming human-shaped biscuits, still pronounced in some English and most German bakeries during the Christmas season as the Gingerbread Man. What? Ben, check this out. You know how they have that new skin and it's the Gingerbread Man, but he's burnt?
Yeah.
It's the god Mercury, Hermes. They started making gingerbread men because he liked to eat human-shaped biscuits.
Fortnite, you crazy.
Dude, I'm right about this. I know that I'm right about this. This is crazy. Like, that picture, and even the candy cane thing, it looks exactly like it. It looks exactly like it. That is insane. Okay, but do they have an explanation for, like, this picture specifically? Because... Okay, it says... You Can't Catch Me takes on a different meaning when you consider the deeper meanings between Saturnalia and the horrors that some might have suffered at the time. There is another side to Christmas that invokes both good and bad, where I almost said Christmas, where children become the focus for this tussle. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Hansel and Gretel with the gingerbread house come to mind. I'll come to Krampus too shortly. Okay, so this is the website neilhogg.com. And I will actually be linking this in my live right now. Let's see. I'm gonna put this one down below because I feel like people are gonna watch this and be like, that's not a thing. You just found a random picture online. No. Saved. It is now in the description if you guys wanted to go look at that. Because it's literally... I'm reading it right now. It's crazy. Wow. I'm like blown away, dude. This is crazy. So... Oh crap, I just lost my page. Where was that? Give me a second. Ben. So, yeah, give me a second. Okay, sorry, I had to answer a call real quick. But yeah, so We were talking about the Gingerbread Man. Let's find where that was. Where did it go? Oh my god, I have so many tabs open. It's like stupid. Okay, here it is, I think. Wait. Is this it? No, it's not! Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, I don't know why they're showing Hermes as this, weird gingerbread man. It doesn't really seem to give a very good description. I want to look more of this up now. Hold on. Gingerbread Man, Hermes, burnt. Like, I don't know. Wow. What if the Merry Marauder is supposed to represent Hermes? The god Hermes. Or Mercury or whatever. Oh my gosh. Gingerbread Man Hermes. Bleh. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I keep looking this up and it seems like there's, like, not really a lot of info. Hermes Pan. What in the heck? Mythology? Mythology. I gotta look up mythology with it sometimes, or else just it comes up with random crap. Mercury is a major god in Roman religion and mythology. This is on Wikipedia. Jupiter in Roman mythology. Wait, what? Hold on. He was considered the son of Maya, who was the daughter of... He was considered the son of Maya, who's the daughter of Titan, Atlas, and Jupiter in Roman mythology. His name is possibly related to the Latin word for merchandise, or merchant, to trade. Connection to his Proto-Indo-European root, merg for boundary or border. In his earliest forms, he appears to have been related to Etruscan deity terms. Interesting. I want to know about the Gingerbread Man, though. What the heck? Mercury. Mercury. Gingerbread Man. Mercury gingerbread. Don't make Mercury gingerbread. Just know that gingerbread represents Mercury. Not the chemical, but the god. Wow, this is a hard topic to even look up. Mythology. Like, literally have to type mythology with everything or else it doesn't come up. Contains nothing with gingerbread.
A man who on every occasion
What the heck?
has given the best that he has.
Why did they not tell me in this other one? It makes me so mad. Like, they're really unclear as to why they did that. Okay. Ancient Rome is the epicenter of Saturnalia. Cities and architectural symbols, not the least of the phallic symbol. Like, what is up with this picture? Like, I want to know. Like, I need to know. Let's try looking up Pan. Maybe if we look up Pan and Gingerbread Man. Mythology, because if I don't type in mythology, it literally just gives me nothing. Okay, let's look at the history of the Gingerbread Man, I suppose. Wow, there's literally, like, nothing about this at all. It just talks about world records and shit. Pan God. It's so weird. Like, I don't even know what to look up for it, really, because, like, I don't know. Hermes and gingerbread people. I don't know. Gingerbread Man mythology. Like, I don't know what to look up. Like, now that I know this information, what do I look up? Hermes was also the divine trickster and the god of boundaries and the transgression of something. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not really finding anything relevant. It just keeps bringing up stuff about, like, people with ginger hair. Like, that's not at all what I'm looking for. Hermes and man-shaped biscuits. Like, I don't know. Men-shaped biscuits? Oh my gosh. I don't know, this Hermes one I'm gonna have to look into, guys. That's so weird that he's literally, like, this picture is nuts. Like, that looks exactly like the skin. That's so nuts. He's burnt. And look at this candy canes. Like, what is this from? I have to know. Like, maybe I can do a reverse image search. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a reverse image search. Paint. I need to go into paint and crop it. And then see what it is. Open. Downloads. Okay. Oh my god, I just drew a line across it. I'm stupid. Crop. Save. Okay, so now I'm gonna how do you like do a reverse lookup? Reverse image search, yeah. Can I upload something? Upload. How to reverse image search. That literally did not do anything. Upload. Open. It's like taking a minute to even do anything. It's from some horror movie or something. Krampus, the Christmas Devil. It's from I think it's from a film. I'm so curious. I'm gonna have to look into that one later, guys, because that one is it's gonna take some effort to really find something on that. But isn't that interesting though? That even the Gingerbread Man could have some connection to this. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Wow. Like, even that candy cane looks just like the candy canes that came out as an axe. It's nuts. Wow. Okay, so I don't know why you're seeing I'm peeing, because I'm not peeing. Why is it doing that? No pee break. No. Okay, so I do want to do some gameplay here, but I thought it was really interesting, some of these things, and it's just also really interesting that, like, you know, there's so many relations from the god Saturn to Santa Claus and Christmas in general. And another interesting fact was this egg. It's called the methone, or oh my gosh, let's see if I can find a better way to explain this here. There is a Titan, or I don't know. People have argued whether it's a moon or whether it's a Titan, but there is a strange shaped object that they call an egg, and it is in the orbit of Saturn. And I'm trying to save an image here of it so I can show you. What in the heck? Why won't it show? I'm so confused. Why won't this show up? What the heck? It like won't show the picture. Unless it's just like way up. No, what the heck? Okay, let's try putting it in this one, I guess. Wow! Okay. It like just does not. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's this egg, right? And so this egg shaped moon type thing is in the orbit of one of Saturn's rings. And actually, you know what's really interesting is recently Saturn's rings, I guess, have been disappearing. And the scientists are, you know, working on trying to figure out why and whatever. But I read an article recently that was saying that the rings of Saturn are starting to disappear, which is like, you know, it wasn't supposed to start happening for like a long time or something like that. Like, I don't know. But so yeah, there's even a connection with Saturn and eggs. How about that? How about that? But yeah, so we have a lot of information. I don't know, is somebody talking to me in here? Huh? I'm confused. Somebody is sorry. But yeah, anyway, I want to jump into some gameplay. I don't know, I don't really want to play as Santa, but like, I guess we could play as Santa. We're gonna play as, let's see. We'll just set it to random. We'll see what happens. Let's put that on random. Okay. Let's get in here. Gonna play some food fight. I'm a tomato. Looks like we're Elmira. The snow has continued to melt pretty much every day. And at the rate that it is actually melting, I feel like it's going to take a long time to actually really see like a lot of the castle. People are claiming that they've seen its crack, however, I think that is full crap. I tried. I literally threw like everywhere, and there was just nothing, no reaction. Frostwing this round. Okay. So I actually, on my spare time, went through the whole map in replays and tried to, like, somewhat glitch to see under the map. I didn't want to, like, glitch under the map during a match or anything, because I feel like that's, like, against the rules, and, like, nobody should do that. I only have a shotgun. Alright, so we're gonna go up here. I've been getting this dog spawning a lot. Oh wow, okay, okay. Well, that storm came pretty quickly. That was almost not fair. Yeah, sail it out of here, man. Jump off the cliff, bearable, no. Fly. actual sniper would be great. That's great. I don't think I'm ever gonna get one of those. Never ever. I got literally just green pack. Thank you for quitting the game. I appreciate it. Don't you love it when you just like you find out there's like a whole team? Always good fun. Really wish I had a sniper. Wonder what they got down there. Over here, yeah, down here. Okay, I see why all these people dropped out pretty early. They didn't have very good weapons. I wonder if anybody checked on this little shetty thing. They did. They certainly did. There. Certainly seems like it doesn't look like it's glowing anymore. Okay. Okay, I tried. Thought I would improve our gameplay here, but that's just probably not gonna happen. We're not gonna get a sniper this round, and I just need to get over it. I wish my team would travel in packs. Food fight is so just like close knit. Everything is so close together. Really rather be shooting from afar. But you know, you don't always get to control what happens. Literally just the same gun is everywhere. Stuff over there. I see a gold glow. A golden glow. Oh, it's just a chug jug. Dang it. Okay, well... What do we got over here? I get a sniper and then we lose. Why? I didn't get a chance. Ugh. What is this? Okay, well, guys, we had a good stream here. I think I'm gonna log off. But yeah, if you guys want to join in on this think tank situation, just drop me a comment or something on either Twitter or Instagram or wherever, and maybe even here, I don't know, whatever you feel like doing. But I'd love to have other people to talk about these theories with, because I find it really, really interesting that they have all these connections with Fortnite, and I really honestly think it's a great way to be able to try to predict what's going to happen or what may happen in the next season or at the end of this season, probably for the finale or possibly even just as a live event. But yeah, so drop me some comments down below, because I would really love to know your opinions on these theories, and I would also love to hear yours. If you guys have not yet, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss a single stream or video that I post. And if you guys like this one, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you did not know, I am part of the Supporter Creator event, so if you guys are going to buy a game from Epic Games, or if you're going to buy V-Bucks in the item shop, make sure to go to Support a Creator, type the Peachy Fiend, and hit accept. And anytime that you make a purchase, you can support my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!